One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free, then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and love, thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Man, what a fantastic morning it is over here on Insane Wheels. Man, let's go. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves so far. We definitely have another humongous news day, as you guys can probably tell, and something that you probably knew was going to happen in that regard. But the way that we have this titled is Strikes Escalate Across Middle East. Trump pushes back on criticism and on primary elections. So, of course, that's what we have titled for everything. But to actually give you guys a chronological timeline here, we're actually looking at U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia hit by Iranian drone attack, and that happened yesterday. For context, this is the oldest story that we're going to be presenting today, and that just happened 13 hours ago. So everything we're showing you guys is within the last 13 hours leading up to right now. And then we have U.S. on Iran strikes, hardest hits are yet to come, quote unquote. I'm not really sure who said that. I'm probably sure that someone, in the Trump administration, maybe Trump said it. I don't know. Then it says 12 hours ago, breaking, Trump sends Congress official notification on Iran strikes. Then we have an update on that whole deadly shooting over there in Austin and the sleeper cell situation regarding that. Police identify victims killed, unfortunately. As you guys know, we're going to be following these stories, and there's going to be little things like that. And this is, of course, that's going to be a sad ordeal when we're talking about victims and stuff, man, because a lot of people got hurt unnecessarily. We have Israeli airstrikes targeting Hezbollah hit Beirut, which is over there in Lebanon, by the way. IDF makes that claim, by the way. Then we have Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu praises Trump as Iran strikes continue.
Bruh.
Which we saw that coming as well. Then, regarding the Iran strikes, Israel launches simultaneous strikes on Tehran and Hezbollah. So hitting not only Hezbollah up in the north, which is up, according to, from Israel. In the north, there's Hezbollah in Lebanon. And then over into the east, you have Iran. And so Tehran is like the main major city of Iran, by the way. Then, as of 3 hours ago, there was some breaking news. Iran strikes U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia with drones. Man, I don't know if Iran wants to be striking our embassies over there in Saudi Arabia with drones. It didn't sound smart. Then we have 2 hours ago, U.S. strikes on Iran footage as Trump continues relentless war. And then, of course, Trump pushes back on criticism of Iran war plan, as you guys know. And this includes many, many different risks across the region, right? So, of course, we're going to be talking about that here in a minute. And then Iran latest IDF strikes Iranian leaders meeting. Now, that happened right before we basically went live. And basically the next kind of, I don't know if he was officially named like the next supreme leader or some shit, but they were voting. And they were voting on a guy to basically be successor and to bring their, their ranking up to normal or whatever, and then they bombed them again this morning. So those same people that were considering, getting those votes, whatever, they might be dead right now. So that just happened, though. That just literally happened right before we went live. So before we get all into it, man, we got to do our call to actions, and we'll get right into it. Please make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the channel, this is what we do Monday through Saturday. Well, actually Monday through Friday for world news, geopolitics, American news, breaking news, all that shit. But we also have members only for Saturday morning for you guys. Now, speaking of members only, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $3.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming a member and then staying a member. A little side note here, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, Breaking News, the campaign trail. Make sure you guys follow along on that. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server for all of you legends. We have like 95% of you guys in there. If you guys are interested in joining, go into the video description down below. It has all the invite links for everything, especially the Discord. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, by the way, we have these platforms scrolling around the screen, and of course, anything that is sent our way, we get to have 100% of the proceeds, by the way. And of course, I'll read out anything that comes our way, just like a super chat. Now, speaking of the devil, we got my man, Virginia Chaos, right before we started the show, already sending us $10 on the Cash App, saying, bombs on Iran, hashtag Virginia Chaos for $10. Let's go, my man. Thank you very much for the 10 spot. All right, guys, good morning to all of you legends. I see a few gifted memberships. Virginia Chaos, my man, gifting them out like it's nothing. I very much appreciate that. He actually sends out 2. Thank you very much, kind sir. That shit goes a long way. Not only helping me, but 2 others in the IWF, my man. So thank you for that. And, of course, the 10 spot on Cash App. All right, so we got to get pretty much right into this, but much love, honor, respect to all of you legends. I see you guys in here. We got Brother Steve Easy. We got Jimmy Mac. We got Prez, as well as Naomi. Easy Frank in the building. We got Jimmy Mac, Rabbit of Chaos. We got Gary and Lappy, my man. Good morning. We got Jack Telcott as well. Good morning, kind sir, and blessings all the way around. We got Roger as well. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We got America Uncensored as well. We got Charlie Rose. Good morning to you. We got my man Job in the building. Shout out to my brother right there. Great to see you in the chat. We got Cameron as well. And Quick Shoe. And it looks like, if I am not mistaken, we got a Motobomb Virginia raid. The coffee crew. So thank you guys for coming over and hanging out with us. We got Joshua as well as Joseph up there in Canada, our favorite snow Mexican. Great to see you in the chat, bro. We got Big Al in the building. Shout out to my man. We got Carney's Ride as well. And we got No Grow and my man Johnny Reno. My man, good morning. We got Carney Vanguard coming in with the 14 months, by the way, saying like, subscribe, and become a member. Yes, sir. These are my absolute favorite. When people themselves become a member, that's like, there's nothing better than that. So thank you for re-upping, Carney. I very much appreciate that. It goes a long way with the channel. It's how we're able to be self-sufficient here, you know? Let's see here. We got Tucker up in here as well. And all right, let's go ahead and get right into the craziness this morning. We're going to start off with U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia hit by Iranian drones attack. Now, this happened only 13 hours ago. So, again, we're doing everything in a chronological timeline.
We talk about sometimes the fog of war kind of about this, and maybe that is what unfortunately happened in that situation.
Holy fucking shit. We got Sterling Will coming in with a major banger. My man, thank you very much for the 5 gifted, my man. Goes a long way. 5 others are going to reap those benefits in the IWF. So thank you very much, Sterling. And good morning and happy Topless Taco Tuesday to everybody.
And not only what is used in this conflict, but where they are using it. I want to put this up here as well. Jennifer Griffin says the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh empty at the time of Iranian drone strike, saying no injuries. But in terms of what the United States is targeting, talking about ballistic missiles, nuclear capabilities, is there anything in your mind of what we're seeing in terms of those targets, over 1,000 already being struck right now, that signals a strategy from the United States?
Right. Well, I think The reports and the statements by administration officials, Secretary Rubio, for instance, this evening, look, first they went in and suppressed the air defenses. Got to get that done so that you can do everything else. Now they say they've established air
What's up, Crystal? Good morning to you.
supremacy. That's good. That means that you can drop gravity bombs with impunity, and you don't have to have that standoff capability that reduces the risk to pilots to do their jobs. And then obviously they're trying to hit the nuclear facilities, but it's really the ballistic missile.
Yes, their hypersonic missile and ballistic missile program is the best in the world, actually.
Apparatus. And
Meaning Iran, meaning.
actually, that was the really interesting part of what Secretary Rubio said that was pretty blunt, is the production rates of missiles that have production rates of missiles like 100 a month or something like that, and of various drones that is just needed to be stemmed, fundamentally needed to be stemmed. And I think that's kind of the urgent reality here that hasn't really quite been emphasized enough is time was not on our side. That time seemingly was on the side of the Iranians. Last summer
I'm not really sure how that is true, but let's go ahead and skip ahead here and see if there's anything else from this. Like I was hoping there would be like a official. Oh, looks like there's something right here. Let's see. Skip
from
ahead.
Iran into Israel and other countries there neighboring. So you can see there from the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh saying a security alert, a shelter in place. The U.S. mission to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, security alert. We heard also from Jennifer Griffin saying no injuries. The embassy in Riyadh was empty at the time of this Iranian drone strike, saying no injuries. It was interesting to note that Tom Carrico talked about those one-way drones that were used. They said they were reverse engineered from something that Iranians had used prior, calling it somewhat poetic justice for what.
Well, I thought all drones are one-way drones when you're using them in warfare. You run it into the ground where the person's at and it explodes. It's a one-way trip. You're not getting that drone back. Anyways, we're moving ahead. U.S. on Iran strikes, quote, hardest hits are yet to come. Now, I'm not sure who gave that quote. We're going to find that out right now, actually.
Welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I am AD Mac. As this conflict in the Middle East continues to spiral, the President Donald Trump says the United States and their military has the
What's up, Bill Castle? Good morning to you.
Ability to go even further beyond that 4 to 5 week time frame. The United States and Central Command saying they have struck some 1,200 plus targets so far. These are some of the.
So that was as of yesterday. That was as of yesterday. Well, yesterday evening, I should say. Clarification. That's a lot of locations struck.
They have struck some 1,200 plus targets so far. These are some of the images we're getting in from Central Command as the U.S. and Israel have continued to pound Iran.
What's up, John?
Since killing its supreme leader, the Ayatollah, on Saturday. Tehran and its allies have hit back against Israel, neighboring Gulf states, and targets critical to the world's production of oil and natural gas. The intensity of the attacks and the lack of apparent exit plan set the stage for a prolonged conflict with far-reaching consequences. Let's continue.
That was a jet that got exploded yesterday that was from CENTCOM right there, but they were making a claim that jet was carrying drones, and then the hangar next to it was also carrying a whole bunch of drones, and that's where they were stashing it.
On here on Live Now from Fox and bring into the conversation the director of the Missile Defense Project.
Shit, real quick, we got my man Johnny Reno coming in with the $5, the 5 spot, saying God bless everyone here. God bless you, Mikey. Tell mom and dad hello. God bless the Second Amendment and the USA. My man, I very much appreciate that. I absolutely will do. So thank you very much for the 5 spot. Definitely goes a long fucking way, my man. Thank you for that.
For the Center for Strategic and International Studies, Tom Carrico. Tom, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And obviously, 48 hours into this, there are so many areas, targets that have been struck by the United States. What are you keeping your eye on? What has stood out so far?
Yeah, well, look, a couple things. There's been, as I said, over 1,000 targets hit within the first 24 hours. That's pretty remarkable. That was a function of the
Man, that's a lot of targets to hit in 24 hours, dude.
amount of spring-loaded force that had been put into the area, and of course, a combination of U.S. and Israel working together. So far, U.S. and Israel perhaps some other folks will get involved. But a handful of things. Look, there's been a couple hundred ballistic missiles fired by Iran, and I think well over 1,000 drones fired at the United States, at Israel, and at lots of other countries in the region. So a couple of things. One, a lot of those things have been intercepted by our air and missile defenses. Not everything has been. Nevertheless, it's actually...
And also, Israel got some damage on their side, too. And I forget the exact number of deaths that there are on the Israeli side right now, but it's also going up, too.
Pretty remarkable, the sheer number that has been. It's that things will get through. Defenses are finally...
Wow, my man, Big Al, coming in with the 5 gifted memberships. Yo! Thank you very much for that. Let's go. 5 others are going to be able to reap that benefit on, well, now as well, but then members only for Saturday morning. So thank you very much for that, Big Al. I very much appreciate that. It goes a long way.
Defenses cannot be everywhere all the time, but it's nevertheless remarkable that they have been so effective. Nevertheless, they're also finite in terms of number. And here's the big worry, is that as this continues to go on...
Brother Dean over there in Israel as well, my man, saying, yeah, we got some dead and plenty damage. Yeah, yep, I definitely did see a little bit of that.
As Iran continues to fire...
Hopefully you're staying safe out there, my man.
More of these things, if we do not destroy them on the ground. Frankly, our missile defenses could potentially be depleted.
Yeah, and I want to ask you that, how critical is it? Because if this goes on 4 or 5 weeks, a prolonged in nature, President Trump said they had the capability to go further, but how much further?
Well, how much time you try to buy yourself is going to depend upon a number of variables. Number one, how many threats, how many missiles that they are able to launch and get off. That is largely contingent upon the command and control structure within Iran, but also a function of how much we and the Israelis are not able to destroy on the ground.
So Trump, there's a little thing here that says Trump on Iran operation to last 4 to 5 weeks or longer. I really hope it doesn't go fucking longer than any of that. I mean, that's already too long. But we're going to go ahead and move ahead here because I don't need to hear an analysis from that guy. We have plenty of facts on the ground, what's happening. And we're going to go into the next one. Trump sends Congress official notification on Iran strikes. So let's go ahead and bring this up and see what's going on here.
You're watching live now. I'm Austin Westfall. Some breaking news. Aisha Hasni with this, saying the Trump administration has officially sent Congress...
What's up, Mississippi? Good morning.
...a notification about the military action in Iran. A key line she's highlighting. Although the United States desires a quick and enduring peace, not possible at this time to know the full scope and duration of military operations that may be necessary. Okay, so we do have the entire note into the newsroom. I'm going to read it verbatim. A little bit's going to be cut off by our graphics, but I want to make sure that we get this entire thing on air. I write to apprise you of military action taken on February 28, 2026, against the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I have separately notified you of changes in the global posture of United States forces in the Middle East in response to threats emanating from then ongoing tensions with Iran. As I previously communicated to the Congress, Iran remains one of the largest, if not the largest, state sponsors of terrorism.
What's up, Papa Penguin? Good morning to you as well. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
In the world. Despite the success of Operation Midnight Hammer, the Iranian regime continues to seek the means to possess and employ nuclear weapons. Its array of ballistic, cruise, anti-ship, and other missiles pose a direct threat to and are attacking United States forces, commercial vessels, and civilians, as well as those of our allies and partners. Despite my administration's repeated efforts to achieve a diplomatic solution to Iran's malign behavior, the threat to the United States and its allies and partners became untenable. Accordingly, and at my direction, on February 28, 2026, United States forces conducted precision strikes against numerous targets within Iran, including ballistic missile sites.
So basically, this is basically just a notification from Trump to Congress that this is what's happening. Really, that's it.
Maritime mining capabilities,
It's a proper paper trail is what they're caring about.
air defenses, and command and control capabilities. These strikes were undertaken to protect United States forces in the region, protect the United States homeland, advance vital United States national interests, including ensuring the free flow of maritime commerce through the Strait of Hormuz, and in collective self-defense of our regional allies, including Israel. No United States ground forces were used in these strikes, and the mission was planned and executed in a manner designed to minimize civilian casualties, deter future attacks, and neutralize Iran's malign activities. It continues. Although the United States desires a quick and enduring peace, it is not possible at this time to know the full scope and duration of military operations that may be necessary. As such, United States forces remain postured to take further action, as necessary and appropriate, to address further threats and attacks upon the United States or its allies and partners, and being a threat to the United States, its allies, and the international community. I directed this military action consistent with my responsibility to protect Americans and United States interests, both at home and abroad, in the furtherance of United States national security and foreign policy interests. I acted pursuant to my constitutional authority as Commander-in-Chief and Chief Executive to conduct United States foreign relations.
What's up, TJ? Good morning and happy Topless Taco Tuesday. Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way, and double tap the screen if you guys are on the vertical. Listen, you guys don't have to like all this craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. So thank you for that.
I am providing this report as part of my efforts to keep the Congress fully informed, consistent with the War Powers Resolution. I appreciate the support of the Congress in these actions. All right, so.
And sincerely signed, Donald Trump. All right, so you guys saw that that was the letter that Trump sent over to Congress to notify them of what's happening, essentially. It's a proper paper trail. That's essentially all they're looking for there. All right, so we do have an update on the whole deadly Austin shooting that was thought to be of a sleeper cell situation. The guy was wearing a property of Allah on his jacket or whatever, and when he was found, killing these people or whatever. And now there's an update. Police identify victims killed. Now, this is always the sad part of any of these type of, news segments is the victims, man. Especially the ones that all these victims that had nothing to do with anything. They're just innocent bystanders. It's so sad.
New details into a tragedy that unfolded over the weekend on 6th Street in downtown Austin, as we now know the names of the two people killed.
What's up, cowboy? My man, good morning.
In Sunday's mass shooting, and what the FBI is investigating as a possible act of terrorism, saying it's a potential nexus of terrorism. 14 others were injured, 3 remain in critical condition. Let's be joined right now on the ground in Texas by Fox's Sarah Allegre. Sarah, thank you.
What's up, Extra Surprise? Good morning.
So much for joining us. What is the FBI, what is police saying about this incident?
Crystal,
well, they said
good
the
to see
FBI,
you.
Austin PD as well. This individual wasn't on their radar beforehand. But going back to the two names of the people who were shot and killed in this attack, now been identified as 19-year-old Ryder Harrington, 21-year-old Savitha Shawn.
Man, 19 and 21 years old, man. Those are the two victims that lost their lives there. That's terrible. We got Tiffany in the building. Good morning to you. Great to see you. And by the way, my man Big Al in the chat sending over a Cash App for $4.20 says, stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
I got you, brother. My man, thank you very much for making it rain in the Cash App this morning.
So young here, victims to the violence that unfolded right here on 6th Street. Andy Mack, have you been here? This is a very popular weekend spot. Not too far away, we've got UT Austin. This is where a lot of college students gather, as you can imagine. So overwhelming for this community. I want to take you to that moment. Also want to warn you, though, the audio is alarming.
Oh my God, dude. That is fucked up. That's in a building full of people. Yeah, that shit sucks. Ugh.
Yeah, you're hearing that. Several rounds of gunfire outside that downtown bar. Police say the suspect shot from his SUV. He got out, then fired at people on the street. Austin PD, they responded very quickly within just about a minute, killing the gunman. He's since been identified as Yaja.
Wow, they responded within a single minute. Wow.
Nanye. Police say he was wearing a sweatshirt, reading "Property of Allah" and a shirt with the Iranian flag underneath. This happened shortly after the U.S.
Oh, he had a picture of the Iranian flag underneath that too. Oh, now it's guaranteed. Guaranteed a sleeper cell situation for sure. Wow, man.
In Israel announced coordinated strikes on Iran. So when questioned earlier today about any possible connections, the FBI and Austin PD say it's too early to say, but they're not ruling it out.
We're looking for connections that he possibly had, witnesses, as the chief had mentioned. We are pouring through thousands of hours of video. We have massive amounts of both digital and physical evidence. And this is
I was about to say, just get his fucking phone and see what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
a around-the-clock, 24-hour investigation at this point, and any declarations on what led to that motive would be premature.
You know, we're thinking about events and what's occurring in the country as well. And so, in addition to the fact that this was a huge, complex scene, we're calling in those federal partners.
Yeah, so on Sunday, officials searched this home linked to the suspect. They say they found an Iranian flag and photos of regime leaders there. Fox also learned the suspect became a naturalized citizen in 2013 and first came to America in 2000 on a tourist visa before becoming a lawful permanent resident here 6 years later. We also...
Wow, he's been here for a minute. He's been sleeping for real. Sleeper cell was sleeping.
learned from the Austin police chief that the suspect did.
Got Jimmy Mack in the building with the 5 spot, by the way, a 5 spot just because. My man, thank you very much for that. My man, also making it rain in the building. Shout out to you, Jimmy Mack.
Obtained the weapons used legally back in 2017 from San Antonio. And again, once again, we are learning about both the FBI and the police chief weren't aware, or at least didn't have this individual on their radar before the
I got you, Frank.
Why are you gay?
attack early Sunday. Anyway.
And after everything that's unfolding in Iran, everyone on high alert right now. I do want to ask you, what did the FBI say about what this individual was wearing? Because there's a lot of kind of criticism and being critical.
Yes, Prez, when they arrived there in the single minute when they responded, they shot and killed the active shooter. Yeah.
Of what he was wearing, potentially something with an Iran flag. What can you tell us?
Yeah, you may have seen that image that's floating around. It shows the suspect carrying a weapon. He's also wearing a sweatshirt. And we want to pay very close attention to the writing there. It says property of Allah. And then
be safe out there, Brother Bill.
just underneath that, he's wearing a shirt with the Iranian flag. And so you take a look at the timing of the matter, too. This was shortly after the U.S. Announced its conflict with Iran, Israel stepping in as well. And so if you look at the coordination there, and then also what the FBI found in their search of the home linked to the suspect as well. Yes, an Iranian flag inside of that home, but also photos of the current regime as well. Again, we asked about...
Interesting. So, I mean, definite sleeper cell situation, but they're sitting there going, well, we may think that it may be connected to a sleeper cell situation. Well, listen, man. What are the chances? You know, just saying. All right, we're moving on. Israeli airstrikes targeting Hezbollah hit Beirut, which is up there in Lebanon, by the way. The IDF says. So let's go ahead and bring that up. And you know what else we haven't done yet? We haven't embraced our fuck-ups. That's what we need to truly do, dude.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
All right, we're ready to rock and roll.
All right, you're watching live now. I'm Austin Westfall. Let's get back out to Beirut. We're learning a little bit from the Associated Press, who is saying and confirming that Israeli airstrikes have hit the Lebanese capital this morning. The Israeli military said that it was targeting Hezbollah command centers and weapons storage facilities in Beirut. Hezbollah also said that it launched drones targeting an Israeli air base earlier. The Israeli military said that it downed 2 drones. So if you were watching us about 25 minutes ago, you know that we caught it right after it happened.
Now, to give you guys context, this came out yesterday evening. Well, it was actually like midnight when it came out for us.
It appears an Israeli strike targeting Hezbollah operatives in the southern suburbs of Beirut. That is, in fact, what we saw. And we still see some of the smoke emanating from the area where that strike took place. We heard another blast while we had the audio up on this camera earlier, too. Okay, so we're hearing some crackling.
Gunshots.
I'm going to mute my mic. I'm just going to listen into this. This is live.
Shit's crazy.
Listening to a gunfight live in the southern suburbs of Beirut. Let's keep listening.
Now, again, this was about midnight for us this morning.
This happened moments after an Israeli strike on Lebanon's capital of Beirut. Israeli airstrikes.
I always think about, like, how much money is just being spent on this shit. You know what I mean? Just the all the way around on every side. I mean, it's just so much fucking money.
Targeting Hezbollah command centers and weapons storage facilities. Happening just moments ago. After that strike was carried out, now we're hearing what appears to be a gunfight somewhere around where this videographer is planted. Hezbollah.
Yeah, totally crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and move on now. We got Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu praises Trump as Iran strikes continue.
Bruh.
All right, let's go ahead and bring this up and let's go and see what Netanyahu has got to say.
But there's a lot to keep up with.
Very quick update, by the way.
On this Tuesday morning, we have just hit a new hour. 4 a.m. on the East Coast, 1 a.m. over on the West Coast. I want to turn it over now to some comments made by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So he joined Sean Hannity and Fox News to discuss the latest regarding these operations that are continuing. Let's listen in.
95% of all the problems you see in the Middle East are generated by Iran. And the worldwide terror network that they built is generated and orchestrated from Iran. So when you take away Iran, when you let the people of Iran have the opportunity to act to liberate themselves, free themselves from the yoke of this terror machine, you get a different future. I think that will open up the way for many peace treaties with other Arab countries, with Muslim countries. I think it changes the world. If we go through what we plan to do, I think it will create conditions for peace. This is not an endless war. This is, in fact, something that will usher in an era of peace that we haven't even dreamed of. There's never been a president like Donald J. Trump.
Man, he's now picking up the rhetoric of Trump now, like never seen before.
An endless war. This is, in fact, something that will usher in an era of peace that we haven't even dreamed of. There's never been a president
that we've never dreamed of
like Donald J. Trump. His resoluteness, his decisiveness, his clarity of thinking, the way he gets right to the crux of things. It cuts through all the fluff, cuts through the chase, gets down to the main point, and it gets down to the main action that needs to be taken. And I think for Israel, and I think for the countries of the free world, let me tell you, I think for the world, we're very lucky to have him as the leader of the free world.
And those were just some of the short comments we were able to get there. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu joining Sean Hannity. on Fox News' Hannity. On your screen, we also have this, the latest social media post from the Prime Minister's office and his account. It says the Tehran terror regime fires on civilians, and we fire on the Tehran terror regime to protect civilians. We embarked on this campaign to remove existential threats and to create the conditions for the brave Iranian people to cast off the yoke of tyranny. That day is near, and when it arrives, Israel and the United States will be there.
What's up, brother Glare? Great to see you in the chat. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday. Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way, and double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side. We've got 147 people in here between the two. Appreciate that.
And then that is followed along by a quote that says, first of all, Israeli citizens, I ask you to follow the instructions of the Home Front Command. They save lives. They have saved many lives here, but unfortunately not everyone, because there were people who sadly were not inside protected areas. I send condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones, and I also send wishes for full and speedy recovery to the wounded. And
I got you, Steve Easy.
A few moments later.
We are helping and will continue to help. I want to thank the rescue and rehabilitation teams. We will rebuild, and we will build even stronger.
All right, let's go ahead and move on into the next story. Iran strikes. Israel launches simultaneous strikes on Tehran and Hezbollah, which is, you know, Hezbollah is up there in the north to Israel, and that's up there in Lebanon. And then you have Tehran, which is the major city of Iran, basically, their capital, essentially. Let's go ahead and bring this up.
Good morning, Kirill.
All right, so you've been joining us for the last several days as all of this continues to unfold. I want to start, though, with that social media post from the IDF that I just showcased and bringing onto our screen, actually, these compelling images that we are getting over in Beirut, Lebanon. So as you saw there from the IDF, they're informing the public of some of these operations that are ongoing. But how is the IDF adjusting those operations at this moment, particularly here along the northern border? What does that tell us about what could happen next?
Well, Hezbollah prior to October 7th was considered to be a dominant paramilitary terror proxy.
Which is true, but then Israel basically took all their leaders and their people out with beepers that had bombs in it. I mean, literally. I mean, there were pagers essentially. They didn't want to use the new tracking technology and stuff like that. They wanted to use older technology to communicate. And Israel actually had these beepers have inserted with a bomb in them, and then you could remotely explode all of them. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, he really fucked them up on just that one thing. That's some next level shit, dude.
Middle East with tens of thousands of missiles, many of them short and medium range missiles, some of them precision guided that could really blanket the entirety of Israel's home front. We know that once Hezbollah entered the war following October 7th, that Israel...
What's up, Stacks? My man, good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning as well.
...succeeded to file back Hezbollah's capabilities, many estimates say by 75 to 80%. There is a belief that Hezbollah does have within its stockpiles maybe as many as 2,000 rockets and missiles that it could shoot at Israel. They have shot some, a handful at northern cities in Israel. They've also dispatched drones at Israel. In fact, just a few minutes ago, we entered and then exited bomb shelters with a drone.
What's up, TVT? Good morning.
That was reported to have been sent from Lebanon. And I think that perhaps Hezbollah has done Israel a big favor by just shooting a small amount. They have actually opened up this second front for the IDF, a front that the IDF was completely prepared for the moment that this operation in Iran started. The IDF understood that this could be a multi-front war, and Israel and the IDF are insistent that they cannot have a terror proxy of Iran with weapons directly on Israel's northern border.
Excuse me there. I also want to turn now to a social media post from Prime Minister.
We already saw this. We don't need to reiterate that. Let's go ahead and see if there's any other update on this, because really, honestly, we don't need to just go ahead and spend all this time discussing this. Okay, we do have an update here.
Of course.
A little one.
We are going to step away for a brief commercial break as we continue this
Nope,
coverage.
we got it
But
right here.
first,
Don't
I
worry.
want to take us out to this. It's a social media post courtesy of the IDF. It says IDF forces launch forward defense maneuver for northern settlements parallel to IDF operations within Operation Roar of the Lion. Forces of the 91st Division are operating in the space of southern Lebanon and holding several points in the area as part of the concept of thickening the forward defense. The IDF is working to create an additional layer of security for the residents of the north through extensive strikes on infrastructures of the Hezbollah terrorist organization in order to thwart threats and prevent attempts to infiltrate the territory of the State of Israel. The Hezbollah terrorist organization chose to join the campaign and act on behalf of Iran and will bear the consequences of its actions. The IDF will not allow harm to the civilians of the State of Israel and will continue to act by all means to protect them.
All right, let's go ahead and move on into the next now. This is 4 hours ago here, and it's a very quick update, but it was breaking just 4 hours ago. Iran strikes U.S. embassy in Saudi Arabia with drones. Let's go ahead and bring this up, and we have that footage for you guys here.
And we continue to cover everything related to Operation Epic Fury, 72 hours, a little more, since the U.S. and Israel worked to begin that operation there on Iran, killing the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, and about 50 other top Iranian officials, with the potential for more of them confirmed dead, as, of course, we know here that the operation is continuing, and President Trump saying it could last about a month, 4 to maybe 5 weeks in length. You are taking a live look over Tel Aviv at this hour in Israel, as we know from folks there once again that we do have the sirens sounding over and over again in that location. They have been doing that for the past several days as folks are told to go into their shelters. This is all related to Iran and, of course, Hezbollah over in Lebanon firing multiple missiles in their location. Unfortunately, we know that several of those missiles have not been intercepted by the Iron Dome, unfortunately leading to several buildings hit, especially residential areas, and at least 12 people confirmed dead there on the ground in Israel as a result of all of that. Again, as we continue to get more information on that, we'll bring it to you here on Live Now from Fox. And another developing story that we brought you right before the break is coming in out of Saudi Arabia, as the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia's capital tells Americans to, quote, avoid the embassy until further notice due to an attack on the facility. And the U.S. State Department is also ordering the evacuation of non-emergency personnel and family in Bahrain and Jordan. Now, what we know so far from officials there over in Saudi Arabia is that Iran fired drones, and I believe 2 of them struck that building. Now, we are told that there are no serious injuries as a result, and there's only minor damage that's been caused to the U.S. Embassy. Again, as we get live images coming in, we'll bring those to you, because as of right now, we just have that photo that you're seeing there.
Damn. So, of course, we're going to have these updates as we go. We've got one right here, and this is as of 3 hours ago. U.S. strikes on Iran, footage as Trump continues relentless war. Let's go ahead and bring that up. 3, 2, 1.
Here at Live Now from Fox, we are continuing to follow any and all.
Oh, shit. You know what we haven't done yet? We haven't even done the money part, because you guys did get us, 43 minutes in, and you guys were like insane with the donos this morning. But we haven't done the money part legitimately. So.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Actual factuals.
Denied.
But I still love you guys.
New
Let's go.
details and developments regarding the ongoing strikes in the Middle East. And also, U.S. Central Command just released a new video of some of those strikes. Take a look at this. It's a social media post courtesy of CENTCOM, saying, as the Secretary of War said, U.S. forces are hitting Iran surgically, overwhelmingly, and unapologetically. Operation Epic Fury is laser-focused on destroying Iranian offensive missiles. Want to bring to you now also that video that I just spoke about moments ago.
My man, Virginia Chaos. By the way, I don't know if you saw me shout you out after I did all my announcements in the morning, or in the beginning of the show, but thank you for the offline donation, bro.
This
awesome.
was released alongside that social media post. And the latest regarding this entire situation does come as reports of the sounds of explosions rang out across Tehran through the night and into the early morning hours this Tuesday as the war in the Middle East intensifies. The U.S. and Israel have continued to pound Iran since the killing of its supreme leader happened on Saturday. Tehran and its allies have hit back against Israel, neighboring Gulf states, and targets critical to the world production of oil and natural gas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu late on Monday defended the decision to go to war, contending in an interview on Fox News that Iran was rebuilding new sites and new places that would make their ballistic missile program and their atomic bomb program immune within months. Without providing that evidence. Also, going back to this social media post from CENTCOM alongside this video, they also released some more pictures regarding all of these operations that the U.S. is involved in. So you can see them here on the screen as my producer circulates through them. Also,
real quick, we got my man Steve Easy coming in with the 5 spot. If it ain't 18, does it even matter? 666, my man. Hey, much love, honor, respect, kind sir. Thank you for the 5 spot. That is very true.
Coming in, the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia was hit by Iranian drones as well. That attack from 2 drones on the U.S. Embassy early Tuesday caused a limited fire and minor damage, according to Saudi Arabia's defense ministry, which did not release further details. It follows an attack the day before on the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait. State Department in the U.S. says that evacuations of non-emergency personnel and family reached 6 nations.
Real quick, I very much appreciate you, Christian Porter, for sending in those 200 joules, man. I really appreciate that. Damn, thank you. I wish it would show that on my StreamYard so I don't have to do that from my chat from my phone. But thank you very much for that.
On Tuesday, with the inclusion of the UAE. The UAE, which has long been considered a safe corner of the Middle East, has been dragged into the Iran war with interceptions and attacks. The other countries include Bahrain, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, and Qatar. I do also want to bring you this. It's a Truth Social post from President Trump. This is the latest one that he posted overnight, and it says this, quote, "The United States munitions stockpiles have, at the medium and upper medium grade, never been higher or better, as was stated to me today. We have a virtually unlimited supply."
Yeah, Jimmy Mac, there's basically, it's kind of like bits for Twitch. So each joule is worth, on here on YouTube, on the vertical side only, joules equal 1 penny. So if you give 100 joules, that's $1. You know what I mean? So anyways.
Supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought forever and very successfully using these supplies, which are better than other countries' finest arms. At the highest end, we have a good supply, but are not where we want to be. Much additional high-grade weaponry is stored for us in our outlying countries. Sleepy Joe Biden spent all of his time and our country's money giving everything to P.D. Barnum.
Real quick, I got to say, we got liquored up with Poncho in the building, as well as Kel up there in Canada. Very great to see you guys both. Thank you both for hanging out with us.
Zelensky
Good morning.
of Ukraine. Hundreds of billions of dollars worth, and while he gave so much of the super high-end away free, he didn't bother to replace it. Fortunately, I rebuilt the military in my first term and continue to do so. The United States is stocked and ready to win big. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. We got Trump pushes back on criticism of Iran war plan. Let's go ahead and bring that up now. We're pushing through this. We got a lot of stories. I mean, kind of like yesterday, we had 13 stories we had to get through, but there was a couple very lengthy ones. But yeah, today was another like 12-story ordeal.
Now, as we know, there's a lot of discussion here, and we expect that later on.
Good morning, Motobomb. Great to see you in the chat, bro. Did you make it to work safe?
Today, there is going to be a briefing, closed door, for lawmakers in the U.S. to learn more about the operation itself. I do want to continue to follow all of this and bring in Congressman Adam Smith, a Democrat from Washington, to discuss it. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the chance.
Of course. And I want to start by talking to you kind of overall about the situation itself, this operation ongoing in Iran. A lot of people didn't necessarily know that this was going to happen at that specific time on Saturday morning. So take me back to that time and tell me what was going through your mind as you were kind of processing all of this.
Yeah, well, I was aware that this was coming because of my job on the Armed Services Committee and conversations we'd had. I mean, I wasn't positive it was going to happen, but it sure seemed that way.
Be safe out there, Johnny Reno. We'll see you on the flip side, my man.
So we were thinking about it. But look, the implication of it, it's, we have a full-scale Mideast war. I mean, you just put the list of the countries up there, 14 countries across the Middle East now where Americans are not safe to be in. This is the largest conflict that we have been engaged in, gosh, probably since World War II in terms of the sheer volume of territory and countries that are involved. So it's massively...
Yo, Prez, I definitely need to show up and show out there. Hell yeah.
Disruptive and dangerous, and it does not appear to be ending anytime soon. And I still don't have a clear idea of what the objective is. When do we get to the point where, okay, we've accomplished what we've wanted to accomplish? We've gotten multiple different answers from the administration. And frankly, I don't think at this point they know for sure. And that adds another element of uncertainty into certainly the Middle East, but also given the oil that comes out of there and the global disruptions, the global economy.
You kind of already touched on this, but we know that those briefings, closed door, are expected later on today. And I know you probably can't go into too much detail, but what I wanted to ask is what question or questions might you be bringing up during those meetings? What do you want answers from?
Well, I got the briefing yesterday as the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee. They did chairs and rankings of the key committees yesterday, same group.
Now, let me see if there is an update without them just sitting here reminiscing and talking bullshit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, there isn't. So we're going to move on. That's how we move in this bitch. Iran latest. IDF strikes Iranian leaders meeting, and that happened just an hour ago, right before we started the show. This was a humongous ordeal. Basically, the the new successors of the government, as well as the Supreme Leader position, all of that, while they were doing some voting, they bombed that building and killed those leaders as well. They were going to be possibly successors. But anyways, let's go ahead and bring that up and we'll talk.
We are following this breaking news on Iran. If you are just tuning in, putting this back up on your screen here as Israeli forces struck an Iranian Supreme Council gathering today as the group was meeting to choose a successor to the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. That's according to a senior Israeli official to Fox News. And we're also hearing from Fox News' Trey Yingst reporting this update this morning, saying the move, quote, speaks to the Israeli intelligence about this war.
What's up, Jack? Good morning.
Going on to say they just targeted the meeting in Tehran where what's left of the leadership was gathering to choose a new supreme leader. That's according to Trey Yingst. We do know the U.S. and Israel killed 49 of Iran's most senior leaders in the opening salvo of Operation Epic Fury on Saturday.
Good morning, Steve Posey, as well.
Good morning, leaving Iran's military fractured and leaderless. But the death of the supreme leader after almost 37 years in power is raising questions about Iran's future. And the beginnings of this complex succession process began to take shape the morning after Khamenei's killing in an airstrike campaign by the United States and Israel. As outlined in its constitution, Iran on Sunday formed a council to assume leadership duties to govern the country. And though the Leadership Council will govern in the interim, an 88-member panel called the Assembly of Experts must, as soon as possible, pick a new supreme leader under Iranian law. So we did want to share this breaking news here with you. Once again, the latest out of Iran, as we're learning, Israeli forces struck an Iranian Supreme Council gathering on Tuesday as the group was meeting to choose a successor to the late Ayatollah.
Wow.
We'll continue to follow this here for you on live now from Fox.
All right, hold on. Now we're going to go ahead and move into this. This just came out. Iran claimed to have material for 11 nuclear bombs, U.S. says. That's fucking interesting. Let's go ahead and bring that up.
as we have the latest on the U.S. and Israeli joint operation that killed Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and about 50 other top Iranian officials. So what you're seeing is a quote from Steve Witkoff, the U.S. envoy to the Middle East, saying that Iran's top negotiators boasted during the first round of talks that Tehran had enough enriched uranium to generate nearly a dozen nuclear bombs. Witkoff telling Fox News Channel, quote, "In that first meeting, both the Iranian negotiators said to us directly with no shame that they controlled 460 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium and that they're aware that could make 11 nuclear bombs." The envoy going on to say those Iranian negotiators explained that it was their quote-unquote.
Always appreciate you, Frank. Be safe out there. And wow, we got Pumper coming in with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's go, bro. Great to see you back in the chat, my man. Thank you for sending it out like that. I very much appreciate that. Hopefully you're enjoying your Topless Taco Tuesday. And thank you for helping 5 others in the Insane Wheels family. I very much appreciate that. We got members only, by the way, guys, every Saturday morning. Listen, we've got a lot of gifted memberships that have been happening already this week, and I'm very honored by that. So make sure you guys show up for Saturday if you got a gifted membership.
Right to enrich the uranium and build nuclear weapons. Witkoff adding he responded that President Trump, quote, feels we have the right to stop you dead in your tracks. Again, there is so much going on here and so many updates that are coming in. I want to bring in Mark Chandler over at Coastal Carolina University, also a former senior defense intelligence official, to help break it all down. Mark, as always, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Josh. Thanks for having me today.
Of course. And I want to talk to you first about the remarks there from Steve Witkoff, again, confirming that top Iranian officials didn't just reveal this information, but quote unquote boasted about it and said they could make nearly a dozen nuclear bombs. What do you make of that, and how did that likely factor into the ultimate U.S. decision to strike Iran?
Well, Josh, that's rather revealing by the Iranians. One, they have always denied that they were enriching uranium for weapons purposes. So to blatantly...
They're dumping fucking gravel right outside my front house right here, because I forgot that that's happening, delivering right here at 11 o'clock. So
say this and do it in the negotiation stage of that, that's significant. I think it was probably a power play by them when you look at that revelation, but they could have plausible deniability that they ever said that. But we know that the IAEA, the International, Nuclear Weapons Inspectors, and the U.S. intelligence community both assessed that they had enough enriched uranium to make at least 10 bombs. So they know they had that amount out there. So when we look at that, and I don't want to get into a nuclear physics thing, but that 60%.
What's up, Yo Mama's house? Good morning and happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
Is one step below and about 3 weeks away at the most from having highly enriched uranium, 90+%. So to say that, to acknowledge that in public is a bold move.
I got you, Jimmy Mac. I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't go with this setting, but, because it's a request.
And I think that really, when you hear that kind of atmosphere that Iran project, really is a signal that they were pursuing weapons and we should be prepared to act. One disconcerting note that I would add, Josh, is they said that they controlled that. If we look at a literal translation of that, does that mean they still have access, that we didn't cut that off when we hit Isfahan and Natanz and Fordo? So when I look at that, where is that enriched uranium at this time?
And of course, there's questions about the whole situation in general, whether or not they were just kind of showing that they could say that, or if they actually had that enriched uranium. There's so many questions about it overall, so we'll work to figure out more, of course. But what you're looking at is some of the video that's coming in from the Iranian Red Crescent Society. They provided some of the aftermath of the strikes by the U.S. and Israel, at least that's what they say. This video is right there. What I want to get you to here and ask you a little bit about is another developing story that we're following with the help of the Associated Press here, as the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia tells Americans to, quote unquote, avoid the embassy until further notice due to an attack on the facility. And at the same time, the U.S. State Department ordering the evacuation of non-emergency personnel and family in Bahrain and Jordan. Now, what we're hearing from officials there is that Iran fired drones, and at least 2 of them struck the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia. Now, no major injuries reported, no severe injuries, and no major damage to the building itself. But it seems as though this is going to be a situation that we're going to see happening a lot in the coming days and weeks as the—
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine. All right, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, that is our wrap-up for the hour. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Obviously, I can't do this shit without you guys. I'm very honored to be able to do it. So listen, we're going to be back tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Until then, stick around, by the way. We're going to be sending you guys off to our guy, 10th Man. Make sure you guys let him know we're coming through with the Mike Bull raid. And listen, much love, honor, respect to everybody. God bless everyone. And stay safe out there. We'll see you guys very soon. And 3, 2, 1, out. See ya.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on 2 wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels, here's back to